Africa's most populous country, divided between Africa's largest Muslim community in the north and Christians in the south.
The division between the two communities have been the worst for the past 10 years, culminating in violence, damage to property and loss of life.
I do not think that the Nigerian security forces have all the technology and all the intelligence to infiltrate the Boko Haram system.
The President himself mentioned that the Boko Haram has infiltrated the government, the police, the army.
In this week's In Focus, I'll be looking at why there's been so much violence, what is the role of Boko Haram, and what more could the government have done to reduce tensions.
Nigeria is the largest country in West Africa and the second largest in sub-Saharan Africa. With over 41% of GDP, Nigeria is experiencing its fastest economic growth in recent years, but finds itself at a crossroads. There are religious clashes taking place right now, where churches and mosques have been blown up, and the Western media have classified these clashes to be between Muslims and Christians. Like so many countries across Africa, Nigeria's ethnic groups were captured and transported by the British to Americas and the Caribbean as part of the transatlantic slave trade. British colonial masters put Muslims in charge in the north, the colonists ruled the south, and through the missionaries, the growth of Christian population ensued.
I'm here in Abuja, the capital of Nigeria, home to 3 million people. I'm about to meet a man who understands the complex social issues facing this country and what the country has actually had to endure as different cultures tried to integrate.
Dr. Kabir Mato is from the University of Abuja, and he is well versed in Nigeria's social and political makeup.
It is the failure of leadership that has tremendously encouraged the fault line, the division along religious lines that we see happening in this country today. When they aspire to win government contracts, when they aspire to occupy political offices, they start talking about, I'm a Muslim, he doesn't like me because he's a Christian, or he's a Christian, he doesn't like me because I'm a Muslim. All these are issues that are embedded within the Nigerian political economy.
All religions preach peace, tolerance and charity. But when religion is used as a weapon, it can extend well beyond the confines of both communities.
Ben Oburi is a popular phone TV host whose audiences cut across all sectors of the Nigerian population.
Most people also have a local divide that is between the Christian and the Muslim. Now, in some communities, there are sworn demarcations, say in Jos or in Kaduna. The northern part of Kaduna is popularized by Muslims. The southern part of Kaduna is popularized by Christians. So if you're going to buy land, for instance, the Muslim, and you're Muslim, your Muslim friends will tell you buy in the north where we are. And the Christians will traditionally tell you buy in the south where we are from. So it's a divide that has been created because of recurring cases of crisis in the country. Now, that also has formed the issue. It has formed a demarcation along markets, among even the people who take commercial motorcycles. People don't even take the commercial motorcycle belonging to a Muslim if you're a Christian. From little demarcations, it turns into a very mountainous divide that it becomes difficult even for people to relate along that path without being afraid.
The problem is that we are living perpetually under a state of insecurity in this country, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. Every day bombs are detonated. Every day people lose their lives. Every day you have tremendous quantum of loss as far as property is concerned.
Madala is a small town outside the capital city of Abuja. It became the focus of world media when on Christmas Day it became the target of a Boko Haram bomb.
Madala City, one of the suburbs of Abuja, under military emergency, a dawn-to-dusk curfew, ever since the Christmas Day's bombings.
Austin Ezike is a resident of Madala. He told me his house was attacked by Boko Haram. He showed me around the bombed area, citing his home and other businesses that were affected.
So this is your home?
Yes, this is my home.
What happened?
It's as a result of the bomb blast of the 25th December 2011. Terrible noise that brought the roof down. It was frightening, very traumatic that I have not been able to come out of the shock as I'm talking to you today, 5 months after.
Austin, can you just sort of tell me who else in the community has been affected by this crisis?
There are so many. Well, among the property owners, there are about 30 in numbers.
And we're going to go and see one of your friends called Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, yes, Emmanuel, okay.
And what's so special about Emmanuel?
He just completed fixing a 2-story building.
Yes.
You can see that's the building. The scaffold is holding it into place because you can see the way it is. There are so many cracks. All the glasses are shattered.
Yes.
You understand? The roof is blown off completely.
Emmanuel is a local entrepreneur who has built an IT center that has trained many in the community. He showed me around his building that was barely standing.
Some of the glasses, you will not get them from here. Let's just go up, you'll be able to see more. If somebody were to be inside here, look at glasses, everything. What we are actually doing here was supposed to be a full vocational center. We are supposed to be trained not only on computer programs, we are supposed to be trained on other fields. So we wanted to see that we bring people out from the street, we educate them, and a lot of life have improved so far anyway. That day, about how many cars? Most about 9 cars were damaged here.
What about the roof? Because it's gone.
It's gone, look at it. This is what we witnessed that day. I thank God that nobody is here. If somebody is here, the person is gone.
Absolutely.
Yes, the person is gone. I don't think there's any person that will be here that will survive it. I think I was here 3 minutes after the event. But when I came here, it's not the house I saw carcasses, dead bodies, scattered all over, even down to the side of this my house here. So what I saw that I have never seen in history, I've never seen anything like that before. If I tell you now psychologically that I have a problem, I don't sleep. I don't sleep.
We have suffered so much loss in terms of life, in terms of property, in terms of, economic and social activity. People hardly can do business in major cities of northern Nigeria today. People can hardly do a lot of social activities.
Father Ichi is a local church pastor, and his church was bombed whilst he was preaching.
The Democracy Day was not marked, and everybody on that day remained at home. People were afraid of coming out. Why? They don't know where they may be targeting. You need to see our street that day. Our street became a ghost area where nobody is being seen.
The major targets of attacks in Nigeria seems to be churches and mosques, raising the question of a religious dispute. But what is this in reality? A religious war between Muslims and Christians?
In Nigeria, religion plays a very fundamental issue where, next to tribal differences, the major divide is between Christians and Muslims. Yes. I think it's an indoctrination that has grown over the years. It's not a total line that says we're enemies, but some of the things don't just add up.
However, most Nigerians do not agree with the analysis that Nigeria is a religiously divided country and challenge the views that religious disharmony is historically deeply rooted in the country.
I look at it, it has nothing to do with religion. It's a political issue, and only using the religion to cover up. Because for all these years we have been living peacefully until recently when the issue of politics started coming in.
Akin is a Muslim and his wife Helena is a Christian. They've been married for 15 years and have 3 children. They are proof that further from the political scene, Muslims and Christians have in the past and are presently able to coexist in mutual love.
We believe the two religions are the same thing. And we've been coping for the past 15 years. And we haven't had any quarrel. We have children together, we have 3 kids.
both Christian and Muslim, we are one, we serve one God. And when we got married, I remember when we got married, when I took him to my parents, I want to get married. My father accepted me. We both live happily. My mom used to come to our place. Even my father, even his father, even my mother, everybody live happily. In fact, if you are going to he even paid tithes in the church, because every Sunday he took us to church and came and carried us back home. And whenever they have any little thing in mosques, we also go there. Me and my children, we are brothers and sisters. There's nobody that is.
But what was the reaction of the family and friends to this decision to marry from opposite religions? And how do the people around them react today?
A lot of friends left me then. But after I got married and there's no problem in my marriage, they still came back and apologized, and we still become friends.
I don't see the reason why some Christian will be fighting a Muslim, will be fighting a Christian. We are all created by the same Almighty Allah.
Mr. and Mrs. Abdullah Kim have received positive support from both religious institutions.
These Muslim people and Christians are trying to come together, because when we have the challenges, then my husband ran to mosques where you pray. And so they can see his problem, and they asked him that, what did you need? And he told them, and instantly, they gave him some money, which is a Muslim brother. So when I got the same problem, I ran to church, and instantly they assist me. And they know that my husband is not a member of the church that I worship, because I only worship in the church with my children.
So, at the height of the problems between Christians and Muslims in northern Nigeria, you ran to the church for help?
Yes.
Helen, and of course Akin, you ran to the mosque for
yes,
help.
Yes.
And both the mosque and the church supported both of you.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Imam Fuad Adeyemi from the Al-Habibiyah Mosque could not agree more.
Everybody from my mother's side are pastors and they are Christian. Everybody from my father's side are imam and malams. So I'm a product of integration between Christian and Muslim. That is from micro. Let's now go to macro. The town where I come from, my grandfather was the chief imam of my town. As at the time they were building Anglican church, he was the treasurer of that church. What we are seeing in other parts of this country, that you see Muslim, Christian, seemingly Muslim, Christian fighting, at the end of the day, if you look at it down deep, it's far from being religious. Let us start from Jos. Jos, the problem is Jos is who owns the land. It's not a matter of whether you are a Christian or the Muslim. They are fighting on what we call land integrity. It is not anything about Islam, nor about Christianity. In what is happening in Yobe, in Borno, they are not fighting because this one is a Muslim, that one is a Christian. No. But they are fighting because this one believes in this one believes. They have killed so many Muslims. They have killed so many imams. And these people are claim to be Muslim. So far from being any, I don't think in Nigeria we've ever had one single religious war.
If these wars are not religious, then who is Boko Haram? A seemingly Muslim group that is terrorizing Nigeria today.
The Boko Haram sect appeared initially as Muslims, but now even the Muslims don't see them as Muslims. I think a Muslim will prefer to shake hands with Christian than shake hands with a Boko Haram adherent, because their tenets are extremists. And the Muslim believes that this is not what we teach, this is not what we preach. I've had so many Muslim scholars, clerics, and even local imams come on my show, and they tell me that, look, this is un-Islamic. The Prophet did not teach us to go this extreme. We don't forbid Western education. We even relate with Christians. They call them the people of the book. So if you want to kill, why waste life? If you're killing in Islam, it is murder. The issue of jihad, they say it is not, as it were, the way these people interpret it to mean. So there is a disconnect between the Boko Haram adherents and the real Muslims who are Nigerians. So to that extent, the Christians and Muslims are fighting a common enemy. Is Boko Haram driving a wedge between the two communities, Muslim and Christians?
The issue of Boko Haram, and say that like dividing the two communities, is totally wrong. The number of people that were killed in Kano all those who are killed right from the inception of Boko Haram, compare, it does not half the number of people that were killed in Kano. And 90% of those who are killed in Kano are Muslims. Those who are killed in Yobe, in Maiduguri, 85% of them are Muslims. Even those that were killed in the one they call Christmas Day bombing in Mandala, there are so many Muslims that were killed there that day. And nobody is mentioning about that. Nobody is talking about that. In Jos, you've forgotten, there's one that the entire media is supposed to carry. Because the Muslims do not have the power of the media, there was supposed to be Eid Day massacre. You can imagine on an Eid Day, they went to go and perform Salah in Eid, where there don't used to be more than 5 Eid praying in a town. So you can imagine the number of people that will be there. They went there to kill Muslims like animals. Blood was flowing like a flood. Nobody is saying anything about that Eid Day killing in Jos. Nobody.
So does that mean that Boko Haram's bombs do not discriminate?
It doesn't. It's anybody that comes their way is gone.
Last year, Boko Haram's bombs killed and injured many, destroying a UN building, and this year Media House sending shockwave throughout Nigeria.
This building behind me, one of the most prominent newspaper buildings in this country, was struck. 9 people died. The building itself completely destroyed.
Abuja's Commissioner of Police believes he can protect the city, and this is despite Boko Haram's recent attacks on the capital.
How do you react with those imageries as the law enforcement of the town?
The important thing is to learn from what has happened.
Yes.
And you now know how to emplace a more advanced security network to combat whatever is going to happen. We are being proactive more than ever before. You can see that the alertness and vigilance of the men you see on the road, the policemen you see, is highly built up, and the way they react to situations now is quite different.
I'm about to go on patrol with the police to see exactly what security measures they have in place for the citizens of Abuja. The police officer here is trying to tell me exactly what sort of security measures they have in place. Stop and search, they've got barricades in the roads, just to make sure that no terrorist activities take place in the capital.
I know they sleep.
Why?
When I can't sleep.
You're scared?
If I sleep, I'm probably come and take the gun.
He himself doesn't feel safe. So you can imagine how the rest of Abuja, the citizens of Abuja who do not have ammunition, how do they feel? I'll say at no time in our history as a nation has our police been as serious as they are than now. But whether they are winning, I'm a little skeptical. I'm worried myself because I think that intelligence gathering is about infiltrating the people. Why have we up till now not been able to get a serious result on this issue? It's a problem, and I think it's a problem that the police is not answering fast enough.
Boko Haram's targeting have changed the nature of policing throughout the city.
What about the terrorists, Boko Haram? You can catch them at any time.
If we see them, we arrest them.
It is not so simple, though, to identify Boko Haram.
The president himself mentioned that the Boko Haram has infiltrated the government, the police, the army. That's the way he put it.
If the president of Nigeria spoke in that light, he wasn't probably speaking out of the moonlight. He was probably speaking based on certain strategic security information that he has received. And what we expected since then was that these members of government in the police, in the security services, and even in cabinet, in the legislature that the president claimed were part of Boko Haram should begin to be revealed. Let's see with concrete proofs and evidences that these people are members of this group, and then bring them out and try them where we have a judicial system that is relatively functioning.
A serving senator of the Federal Republic in his party is also being in court, being tried over the issues of Boko Haram as somebody who is suspected to be sponsoring the Boko Haram sect. So to that extent, you can say some light is beginning to come out.
So what is the way forward? What is the assessment of local security analysts in Nigeria? Do they have faith in the security apparatus to deal with Boko Haram?
I do not think that the Nigerian security forces have all the technology and all the intelligence to maneuver or to infiltrate the Boko Haram system, because the Boko Haram system are more organized. The Nigerian state, under the watch of Jonathan, do not have all it takes to match the Boko Haram in terms of unleashing terror, in terms of the bombings, in terms of the killings. So you cannot try to say that you are fighting terror by putting soldiers on the street. So what the government needs to do is to get countries that have experienced such magnitude of terrorism to help them train their personnel.
I think Nigeria has been speaking up about help. We've talked. Only a few weeks ago we had the Minister of Defense and the President himself and asking for assistance, asking for support. Some other foreign missions in Nigeria have also pledged support for Nigeria. So Nigeria is not refusing support. We've not refused. We know our deficiency, we know our limitations. We just don't want people to turn it into some kind of predator relationship so that it becomes what do we bring in, what do we get out.
Why do we need an international community now? Who is that country? You talk of the United States of America? You talk of Britain? No, we are more than that. We are more than that. We do not need any international body to come and say they are helping us. To do what?
Any sensible security or government will understand that the crisis is really beyond its imagination. And I think, therefore, the most important thing to do now is not, roadblocks are mounted throughout the country. Tremendous quantity of resources are wasted in servicing and supporting the security staff that are all over the place. Mounted roadblocks, bomb detectors and what have you. All these things have been done, and yet we are yet to see the end of this issue. Why don't you open up the dialogue alternative? You don't have to know who they are. Open up. Say we want to dialogue, send in your representatives. Let's begin to know who are your representatives, or who among the society that is outside that you feel comfortable can begin the negotiation on your behalf until such a time when your representatives can join the negotiation. That's what government should do.
Whilst Nigerian stakeholders are dithering in finding a solution, it is the people who continue to bear the brunt of the ongoing violence in Nigeria.
Nigeria has faced many challenges throughout its colorful history. Nigeria is a great country, but its greatness is going to be defined by its ability to resolve the conflicts that threaten to divide the country.